Mr. Gaurav Arya, there's a lot of internal developments as far as whether it's the rise of Barelvi Islam with the TLP being introduced into the mainstream. There's a secessionist movement in Balochistan, and now it's said that the Pashtuns actually don't get along very well because they're very protective of their primacy. So in fact, they are very, they pose a great challenge to the Punjabis because they seem to be the dominant community in Pakistan. So how do you see these ideologies interact at the moment?
See, there are two, three things. It's slightly in the gray. It's not that black and white. Essentially, Barelvis form a majority and Devbandis do not.
Right.
So Tehreek-e-Labbaik is essentially a Barelvi organization, and Rizvi Saab the elder, and Saad Rizvi is Rizvi Saab the younger, who was in jail and just let off. He was basically in the governor's guest house, not in jail, but they chose to call it jail anyway. So this is a hardcore Barelvi organization, and for your information, the Taliban is a Devbandi organization. Right?
Yes.
So in Afghanistan, the Taliban is a Devbandi organization. In Lahore, the Labbaik is a Barelvi organization, and both these organizations' headquarters are actually in Uttar Pradesh in India. Okay, so in Bareilly and Devband respectively. Now, coming to the point, I think that you spoke about Balochistan. If you look at the broader picture, wherever there is a secessionist movement, it requires help from a neighboring country. The reason why, there are two, three reasons why the Baloch movement has seen its ups and downs and has not gone to the logical conclusion that is an independent Balochistan.
Right.
The reason is that, number one, you don't have any country which is neighboring, which is supporting it. It's very important. That is how for a decade plus Pakistan ran it in Punjab, and that is how for 30 years plus Pakistan is running it in Kashmir. A terrorist movement, which is also a secessionist movement, because that is what they want. The terrorists want, not the common people, but the terrorists. Now, another point is that in Balochistan, 60 to 65% of the population is non-Baloch.
Right.
Balochistan is Pashtun majority. Okay. And the third point that you mentioned, second point mein ek aur baat hai na ki Balochistan is also in Iran here. It's not just in Pakistan. Part of Balochistan, a significant part of Balochistan is also in Iran. So that is what largely borders Pakistan also. And so essentially what is happening here in Pakistan is that when we speak about the Pashtun, whether we talk about the Pashtun Tahaffuz movement, which is a largely left-leaning, if I may dare use the word secular, okay,
right.
not in the classical sense, but yes, that is what they claim to be. And of course, the natural inheritors of the Khudai Khidmatkars, of Frontier Gandhi, Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan, because that was, see, this is also a contradiction in terms. Pashtuns are not known to be peaceful. Afghanistan, or greater Afghanistan, is known as the graveyard of empires, right? And Pashtuns don't fill anybody's tick box of being a peaceful people, but the Pashtun Tahaffuz movement. Now, there are two MNAs who owe loyalty to the Pashtun Tahaffuz movement. Both were arrested. Mohsen Dawar is out. Ali Wazir is still in prison, somewhere in some ISI hellhole. And both are MNAs. Both are member of parliament, Pakistan National Assembly members.
Right.
So what is happening is that I do not think Baloch separatism is troubling Pakistan so much.
Right.
It is not. I think what is actually, and this is my own analysis, I could be wrong, but my analysis is that what is actually, a very major and a potent force which can unsettle Pakistan is Pashtun nationalism or Pashtun sub-nationalism.
Right.
And there are 3-4 reasons for it. Number one, even the Taliban, which was supposed to be a friendly regime, today will not say that they recognize the Durand Line.
Correct. Yeah.
That is number one. They do not, and they have said it as much, and they never admitted it. So they claim the area up to Margala Hills. Margala Hills is from where you can look down on Islamabad, right? So these are Margala Hills, in niche Islamabad. So they claim the area up to Margala Hills, by the way. That is point number one. Point number two is that the largest and the most powerful community after the Punjabis, who find sizable representation in the Pakistani armed forces and the bureaucracy are the Pashtuns.
Right.
Though it was the Muhajirs that initially framed everything in Pakistan, because they were the people, the Muslims who went from UP, from Bihar, from Delhi, from Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan. These were the Urdu-speaking people who actually, gave them their munshis and their clerks and their bureaucrats, and the frame of their bureaucracy was essentially Muhajir, and later on other people caught up, the Punjabis caught up. That's a separate issue altogether. So this is another thing, the Pashtuns. That is why Pashtuns. And thirdly, the biggest collection of Pashtuns is neither in Quetta, which is the capital of Balochistan, or in Peshawar, which is Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. The largest collections of Pashtun in Pakistan is inside Karachi. And Karachi is 60 to 65% of Pakistan's GDP. The Pakistan Army is cognizant of this danger. And this is where it stands today.
Please remember to subscribe to us and switch on the notifications for this channel. For our other social media links, more content, and to support our work, please visit citti.net. Dhanyavad. Namaskar.